and gentlemen, what the world has been waiting for, what the world needs now, the one, the only, amazing, original, Johnny Blaze. Often imitated, but never duplicated. There's Johnny.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you all to the original Johnny Blaze Show. It's great to be here as I blaze right in with my karate kick. Let's have a blazing hot fun time. I'll never forget my first girlfriend. One day she invited me over to her place to play doctor. I raced right over and then she kept me waiting 2 hours while she went out to play golf. The only thing tougher than the loss of a loved one is when your loved ones keep finding you to ask for more money. A wise man once said, no man is complete until he gets married. After that, he's finished for good. Dating is always rough. I went out with one woman for about a month. Every time we had a date, she would bring me a get well card. I told her, I'm not sick. And she'd say, I know you're not, but you definitely need to get better at everything else. When I was a child, I thought nap time was a punishment. Now it feels like a small vacation. The last time I took a woman on a date, I tried my best to impress her. I told her, feel free to order the most expensive thing on the menu. So she got the double whopper with cheese. If you're really ambitious and want to change the world, you better do it while you're still single. Once you get married, you're not allowed to change the TV channel anymore. We have a very exciting, very special, exciting, blazing hot show with a special guest. He is a multi-talented actor, comedian, impressionist, and writer. So please give a big, warm welcome to the one and only Jon Pirincci. Welcome to the amazing original Johnny Blaze Show, Jon. You looking good there, my friend. Yeah, excellent. Anyway, yeah, it's good to see you. And anyway, tell me about everybody has their own special, unique, wonderful story and background. So tell me all about your entertainment background. How did you get started? Where are you from originally? Tell me the whole story.
Well, I started acting when I was 17 years old, a long time ago, from Rochester, New York. I can't believe I never did acting before, and all of a sudden I did an audition for Fiddler on the Roof. And then I went to Miami. I came back like 10 days later. I didn't think I had it. And all of a sudden I found out that I got it, and I got one of the major roles, Mordecai the Innkeeper. Wow, I can't believe that.
What did you do in that role? What was your...
Mordecai the Innkeeper. He played one of these guys who work with Tevye and things like that.
Excellent.
So, yeah, so it was pretty cool. Then all of a sudden, like the next few years, comedy opened up, stand-up comedy opened up. And I started doing impressions for a long time in high school, like Captain Kirk, Scotty. That was the first impression I did for high school. So that was pretty cool. And then all of a sudden, stand-up comedy opened like 1981, 82. So I started getting into that and getting more and getting into it. And all of a sudden, started traveling all over the place. So it just kind of got me going. The acting, then after Tevye, and after the Fiddler on the Roof, I did Hello, Dolly, did a bunch of them. And then I started.
You did many plays, then it sounds like. Great, you're into plays.
Yeah.
What was your favorite play? Was there any favorite, or was it all about the same? Did you have any favorite plays?
Yeah, actually, I did love Fiddler on the Roof, and still watch it, the movie.
What was there about Fiddler on the Roof that appealed to you? What was there about it that you really loved?
It's a family orientated. It's very family orientated. They're going through a lot of different situations. So it was it's good, back in Russia and Jewish and all that kind of thing. So, but it was just amazing to me that I got the role, and then that's what got me into acting. And then I started doing the comedy and things like that. I started booking my own rooms. So it was just pretty incredible.
Great. So now on your acting okay, there are two different things, acting and comedy. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer acting over comedy, or about the same, or what is your...
Both.
You love both equally? Okay.
Yeah. I've been doing stand-up comedy, gosh.
What is there about acting that it really? What is there about acting that you love? What is and comedy? Tell me about that.
I love all kinds of roles that I did, but I got lucky, when I lived in Orlando, Florida. And I went from Rochester to Orlando, and I started booking my own comedy shows at hotels. I couldn't believe it, get paid for it and that kind of thing. And you're not gonna believe who I met back like in 1987, 88. Carrot Top, the famous actor. And
Carrot Top? Wow. That must have been. How did you meet Carrot? Where did you meet Carrot Top at? And how did you come across him?
well, he was doing stand-up comedy, and he's very big. I mean, you're talking, over 30 years ago. It's incredible, 1986, 87, And then I ran into him a few years ago at an audition. So it's like, really? And I said, Carrot Top, remember me from Orlando? He goes, oh, yeah. So talking.
That's a fabulous memory. That's quite a memory. Now, you say you booked your own acts, so that means you were independent. You didn't need any managers or agents then, it sounds like.
No, I didn't. But then, later on, after I left Orlando, then I moved to Miami, and I started I lived in Miami, and all of a sudden, you're not going to believe it, 2 weeks later, Hurricane Andrew hit. Yeah, Hurricane Andrew. So then my brother came down, and we started investing in real estate. So I still do real estate now, believe it or not.
Oh.
So, but it was pretty cool that, we bought a lot of houses very, very inexpensively. And then we renovated it, sold it, made some good money. So then we traveled to Europe and things like that. It's just amazing the things that happened.
So what do you do? Do you buy houses and just fix them up and resell them, or what do you in the real estate?
You're not gonna believe it. During Hurricane Andrew, Hurricane Andrew is a famous hurricane that happened. So I just happened to move down. My parents have a condo down there, and so we stayed there. And all of a sudden, Hurricane Andrew hit, and just back to Orlando. And then all of a sudden, my brother came down, and we decided to invest in things. And then we found a real estate investor. For the next 2 years, from 92 to 94, we worked. Which is incredible, Then I started getting into commercials.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about, describe the commercials that you got into, the different ones that you were able to be successful at and land, and tell me all about that.
Well, I did a few of them for the lottery. Florida lottery, So I did about 2 or 3 of those to make good money, and then, then I sold the real estate, made some good money, then went to the Greek islands, went to Turkey, that kind of thing. It's pretty amazing. We went for like 6 weeks. Can you imagine that? 6 weeks we were there.
Wow. So you got to travel besides making money on real estate and doing your commercials, you were able to travel. So you're hitting the jackpot there, my friend.
Yep. We did hit the jackpot. It's really good.
And you're a survivor too, that's for sure. Even with
survive.
Right, even with storms like that, tornadoes, wow. Hurricane, that's phenomenal. That's really something. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you're into everything. You're not just into acting. You're not into just real estate. You're acting. You're stand-up comedy. You're doing commercials. You're a Jon of all trades, is what you are.
Jon Pirincci, hey.
Yeah.
New Yorker.
Yeah. Tell me. You know what? Tell me about. It's easy to be depressed, but I'm interested in impressions. Show me your impressions, not depressions. Some of the various characters that you do. I know you do many voices.
Yeah, I do over 100 of them. So, actually, one of the first ones I started doing in Rochester, New York, like 1982, 83. You know who was famous, John, back then? Sylvester Stallone.
Who?
Rocky Balboa.
Rocky Balboa. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
From
I give,
Sylvester Stallone, right? Yeah.
yes. So the first thing I started doing going on stage, I go, how you doing, John? He goes, this is Jon Pirincci. I love Rocky Balboa. He goes, oh yeah. So that way I go, yeah, I do. Yeah. Adrian, the Nicolette, oh
I love it. That's great. That is
yeah.
something. So you actually met Sylvester. It sounds like you met him.
I almost did. I saw him. I went to Miami. He lived in Miami, and I saw him a few times. Right there. But I loved, loved the Rocky movies all the time.
Yeah, he was something. He was really something. They try to knock him down. He comes right back. That's a mark of a winner. You can't keep someone down too much. They come back and they.
Actually, one of the first routines I did. You're not gonna believe this. 35 years later, Wheel of Fortune is still on.
Right.
I used to do I used to do impressions of people playing Wheel of Fortune.
Really?
You guys remember Wheel? It's still on.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. So I used to do Jack Nicholson, Taxi, and Rocky Balboa doing, going. Jack Nicholson go, hey man, let me get a number for you, a letter for you, man.
I like that. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any voices then? Any other?
Boy, yeah.
Pick out some of your favorites. I mean, you can do hundreds of them. As many.
Well, he's still around, but he's been famous for 40 years, and people know him from a bunch of other movies. Christopher Lloyd, and then he did Reverend Jim from Taxi. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Guys, remember? He would go and you go, can I have number 5? Let's go.
Wow.
Yeah.
And can you do Danny DeVito? Can you do Robert De Niro? You can do that?
Oh yeah, I actually met Danny DeVito like about 4 years ago. Danny DeVito, and then he's a pretty cool guy. Then I've always wanted to meet Robert De Niro. So if I went up to Robert De Niro, I'd say, Robert, you're good. I like you. You don't say hi to me, I'm gonna whack you a little bit.
Entertaining. You're talented. As many as you want to do. Tell me. Millions more.
John, come on, get out of here.
What was that?
Joe Pesci, get out of here. Hey.
Oh, Joe Pesci. Oh.
Pesci, yeah.
Pesci, right.
Pesci,
Well,
yeah.
he's no longer alive. Remember Lotka. Remember Andy Kaufman on Taxi. I don't know if you remember him.
Oh, yeah.
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 Did you ever meet him, or can you impersonate him any?
No, those are the good old days.
Yeah. Andy Kaufman did. In fact, Elvis was impressed. He did a top impersonation on Johnny Carson of Elvis. Yeah.
Who did?
Yes, Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman, yeah.
He invited on the Johnny Carson show, and he did an Elvis. His back was facing the audience, and then he was combing his hair, and then he went ahead with his guitar, and he flipped around and he sang the song, and the people loved it. And Elvis thought he was the favorite of all the impersonators, Andy Kaufman.
I remember that. Yeah. It's just pretty amazing. Andy Kaufman. Gosh, he was very, very good, funny, famous guy, and sad that he passed away.
Right. There was a biography that Jim Carrey played the role.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Something to do with Moon over something. I forgot the name exactly.
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
Yeah. And Jim Carrey got me into to doing impressions and things like that too. Back in like 82, 83. It's amazing. I was a young kid, So and I've always wanted to meet Jim Carrey. Didn't have a chance to meet him yet. But
tell me about the different. You can tell if you want to do some more down the line, some more impressions. I'm open to it. But tell me, how did you meet? You met many comedians. Tell me how you went about meeting some of these comedians, where and when.
It's pretty incredible, the comedians that I met. I've been doing a lot of shows, different cities, and then I met a lot of comedians here in Los Angeles. I'm here in LA for 22 years, so it's pretty incredible. You know, then I met all these great people at the, you know, Flappers, at the Improv, Laugh Factory, and things like that. So it was pretty cool.
So
And then
you played those places? Did you play those gigs over there? Great.
with those gigs, yeah, I had my own show many times at the Flappers.
Really?
Yeah, you know, I know the owner is Barb, you know, and actually, the manager, I put him in a sitcom called Phonies about 12 years ago. Yeah, and he's still a manager there, Mike. Yeah, so it's pretty incredible, you know.
That's
So,
amazing. Yeah, tell me, now I never got a chance to see it, but I understand that you did something called Wannabes, and it was based upon the Dimples karaoke bar, first karaoke bar in America. You know, the Philly Dimple. Can you describe and tell me all about that? I never got a chance to see that, but I heard that you did that.
yeah, it was pretty good. It was actually written by Andy Cowan, and Andy Cowan I met him like 11, 12 years ago, and he's a famous writer. He wrote for Seinfeld, you know, amazing shows. So, and all of a sudden, I ran an ad, and I wanted was for a writer to write about phonies, and it's about telemarketers. Okay, and you can see it at phonies.com.
Oh, really?
So, and we actually had a few people from Seinfeld. There was in it.
Really?
So you can see it, yeah.
This is about telemarketers, huh? Phonies was about telemarketers? Oh, wow.
Yeah, telemarketers, yeah.
Well, it must be, what is it, a comedy sketch on telemarketers? Is that what it is? Like pesky
Yeah.
telemarketers? I think that's funny. I know I used to do telemarketing. I used to do it, so I know people we're not popular. They view people telemarketers as pests, of course.
Especially now, you know,
Oh,
nobody answers the phone. It's just crazy, you know.
You can make a comedy sketch out of that. Of course, do not call this, and don't bother me, don't bug me, and everything. Get out of my life, and oh yeah, you can do all that. I'm sure comedians maybe haven't. If you've done it, you've probably done it. Other people have. Other comedians have done it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, I started getting into a lot of different things. You know, I did some commercials once I moved to LA in 1998. Things started going good for me, you know, and I had my own businesses. I did my own things, real estate, you know, mortgage leads. And things.
What do you attribute all your success? That's really something to be proud of, John. It really is, because you know how difficult it is. How do you dealing with, you know, in entertainment, dealing with rejection no one likes, but especially in this business, you know how hard it is. And for you to be able to be a survivor and to overcome rejection, what is your secret? You know, I mean, that's not easy to do.
Well, the big thing is, Johnny, is that I've been saying this a lot, you know, the past, 10, 15 years, is that when you get older, time flies by, okay? So
Right.
you have to do what you love to do, okay? Because I know I talk to a lot of people who are comedians, actors. They don't pursue it. All they care about is making, you know, doing 9-to-5 jobs and things like that, which is like so stupid. It's like, what are you doing that for? You know? So that doesn't make any sense. So the bottom line is that when you start getting going, life, you just got to pursue it. Now, when you start doing things that you love to do, then it makes you more happy. And then you start getting income from it. I've done two commercials with Ellen DeGeneres.
Really?
2 national commercials. Yeah.
No, that's something to be really proud of. Boy.
So that's the whole thing. You just got to keep on.
So this is something they truly love. I mean, I'm sure financially it's good. You make money. At the same time, it's something that you love. And what's
exactly.
important, you know, of course everybody wants to make money, but don't you believe that the passion of doing something you love is as strong, if not stronger, even than trying financially to make the money that you want to make?
Right. That's my whole point. Is that I make a lot of money doing other things, you know, real estate and other mortgage things and that kind of thing. Yes, I bought a condo. You know, I had money to buy a condominium back in 2006.
Oh.
Now in a condo now too. So the whole point is that you just got to keep on make ends meet, okay? And doing what you love to do. So And then you start getting good managers, good agents, and casting directors get to know you, that kind of thing. So, that's what I tell everybody. You just got to keep on doing what you love to do.
Right. And you mentioned a few times, of course, when I've seen you in person. You've said sometimes you got a little upset with the way managers and agents were, dealing with you. You feel like, of course, everybody's out to make money, of course.
Right.
So how do you deal with that? I mean, everybody has to go through that. I mean, some people end up not even doing managers, and they're just independent and they do their own thing.
Well, yeah. The good thing about it is that if you're proactive like I am, you can go online, Actors Access, a few other things, and I've taken casting director workshops. So I met everybody. Now then they say, "Oh, John, can you play a mob guy?" Yeah, so I play all the time. So that's the thing. So I come from an old-fashioned family. I'm actually I got some Turkish and some Italian in me too.
I see. It's a nice combo. That's a nice combo. There it is.
Yeah.
So how did you? Tell me, what was about? There was something you did. I think it was based upon Dimples, Wannabe.
Yeah, Wannabe. Exactly. Yeah.
Tell me about that. I'm interested because I guess it was a concept that was about Dimples. You had to change the names, of course, but describe all about that project.
Yeah, this was just about people that ran into problems with their family, and then they ended up getting into karaoke. And then the owner of the karaoke, got angry, and that he got stolen from people and money, things like that. So wannabes, a bunch of actors that wanna be, singers. So that's the amazing thing that I used to sing, when I was a teenager, and then I used to sing it by myself, listen to music on the radio and cars, things like that. And all of a sudden, I met a friend of mine, who Woody and Nunzio,
Right.
people. Yeah. So they started getting me to say, "Hey, karaoke." I said, "What, karaoke?" So besides doing comedy and acting, and commercials and things like that, I wanted to get into singing. I said, well, just decided to get into it through a couple of friends of mine. And I started getting into it. It's like, wow, I like this. This is really neat. It's better than go to karaoke and have fun and talk to nice girls dancing. So they're just going and having a drink, being bored.
What kind of karaoke? What kind of music? Anything particular that you enjoy doing in karaoke? Is anything?
Well, it's on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, Jon Pirincci, JonPirincci. I love the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s music, the old school ones. Just pretty incredible. I just sang 2 nights ago, Duran Duran, Hungry Like a Wolf with the live band. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Where was this at?
In Sagebrush Cantina.
Oh, the Sagebrush Cantina. Okay. That's the one that's in Calabasas, isn't it?
Calabasas.
Yeah. So you did the live band. You sang it, huh?
Actually, the guy that runs the live band was friends with Andy Cohen, who wrote Wannabes. Is that amazing?
Andy Cohen?
Yeah.
Well, he's the one that directed your Wannabes. That's right, Andy Cohen.
Yeah, he wrote it, and he wrote he wrote for Phonies, and
right.
I keep in contact with them. I just talked to him.
Great. I think he did some kind of romantic dating show too. I think in the past, Andy Cohen.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did, yeah.
Where can people find it if you want to find Phonies or you want to see even
Worked on Cheers.
Wannabe? Where do you see that? The Wannabe.
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure if they put it up yet. There's still. Yeah.
Tell me now. You've met many comedians in your journeys. How, where, and how did you meet them? And tell me some of the stories of the people that you have met. The comics, great professional comedians.
Yeah. Well, just by doing a lot of the local clubs, I got to know a lot of people. We become friends.
Okay. So who were the ones you're talking about? Was it Jimmy Kimmel, David Letterman, and some of the comics that you met?
I did meet Jimmy Kimmel a couple of years ago. I tried to get on the show, and I'm still working on it. And I was trying to work on Jimmy Fallon, his thing, that kind of thing. But about 6 years ago, I was just walking around the park with my dog, and then I said to myself, I'm a spiritual and inspirational guy. So I said, gee, maybe we should write a book. And I went to a guy, Joel Bauer. He says everybody should write a book. I said, what? Never wrote a book in my life. So I saw him
Really?
times. Then I went home and I thought to myself, gee, what was I write about? And again, it talks about, I started thinking about 1992 Hurricane Andrew, and just to let you know, and you can find this on Amazon and Kindle and things like that. So I met this old Jewish guy in the elevator, and I started talking to him, and I said, hey, how you doing? He goes, I'm fine. How are you? I said, did you hear about Hurricane Andrew coming? Yeah. Hurricane Schmurricane. 40 guys really said to me, John. I mean, the elevator is it's like 95 degrees outside. 1992, August 24th. Yeah. So all of a sudden, I said, what? I said, did you hear about Hurricane Andrew? He goes, Hurricane Schmurricane. He said it again. I said, don't you care about a hurricane? I mean, we could die. I mean, our families could die. Our condominiums could get, excuse me, exploded, things like that. And then he looks at me straight in the eye in the elevator, nobody else. And he's a short, old guy, like 75 years old. He looks at me, he goes, you know where I was many years ago, son? I go, what? Well, he's calling me son? He goes, what's he talking? And he goes, I go, where? And he goes, Auschwitz. He went to Auschwitz, John. So really? I said, you got to be kidding. I said, I got upset. I didn't know. I didn't know anything about that. And then he goes, let me show you something, son. He shows me it was a tattoo. Thing, Auschwitz. I'm telling you. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Can't believe it. And then all of a sudden his floor comes in the elevator, and before he leaves, he looks at me and goes, what's a little wind? What's a little wind? Goodbye, son. Have a good life. He leaves.
He said, what's a little wind? That's what he said.
What's a little wind?
Oh.
So the inspiration is like, wow. It's like, you live your life. Like we talked about. You pursue your dreams. This is like 1992. Joel Bauer talks to me. He says, write a book. All of a sudden, a couple months later, I'm thinking to myself, I go, hey, let's write an inspirational, motivational book. And I'm thinking about this guy. I said, what's the name of the book? What's a Little Wind?
Really? So that's how you thought about, I was going to ask you about how you thought about your book. That's right. What's a Little Wind? It's on Amazon.
Right.
And has to do with the Holocaust. That's great. That's really something. Yeah, that was terrible. 6 million of our, I'm Jewish, 6 million people were totally killed at concentration camps and rounded up and shot and killed. And in fact, may she rest in peace, my grandma, she lost most of the people through Hitler. Most of her family died because of Hitler. She was lucky to escape it herself.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was terrible. I mean,
that's horrible.
See, that's why they don't want people to ever forget that. That's why it's brought up so much, the Holocaust, because you don't want it to ever happen again. And that's why they have Holocaust museums. And you remember there was a movie called Schindler's List that Spielberg wrote about.
Yeah.
It saved 1,000 people, 1,000 Jewish people. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was just it was amazing. I read the reviews on Amazon. You can go on there and you can hear a lot of the got good comments and reviews on my book. So it just makes me feel good, Then I started getting into, excuse me. Then I started getting into Toastmasters. started talking. I started doing motivational speaking.
That's phenomenal. So on the book now, so you were able to get a publisher to take it on. You didn't self-publish, right? You were able to get somebody to.
No, I actually self-published it.
Oh, you self-published it. Okay.
I published it, yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess again, you got to have the money to self-publish, and then you have to know how to promote it, because you don't want a bunch of books in the attic that nobody knows about or wants to buy. So you have to know how to promote it right.
I sold a lot of them, to friends and family, and I marketed it myself. So I'm actually thinking about doing it again more, after this COVID thing.
When you market it, how do you go about promoting it? Which channels?
Join book clubs and things like that, and I've sent it. I advertised it on Facebook and other places the past couple of years, and people bought it. They loved it, and it's not expensive. It's like like $19.95, almost $20, but that was good. It was good, So at least I made some money on it.
So I guess when you're making money, and at the same time you're, enlightening people about the Holocaust, about what happened. You're serving several purposes here. That's really
right.
Great. That's really great.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that, John. Congratulations.
And it's got comments from famous people like Oprah, Dr. Wayne Dyer, it's got little comments on what I wrote about my life, and 3 other women guys wrote about their lives. Okay, so at the end of the book, you relate to what I talked about in the book, and you relate it to the Bible, Torah, and the Quran. Christian,
Wow.
Jewish, and Muslim.
And you were able to get comments from these successful people, Oprah and Wayne Dwyer. How were you able to accomplish that?
Well, I didn't get comments from them, but I saw comments from, and I added it to my book, and people loved it.
Oh, you saw comments from them. Oh, you didn't interview them yourself, but you saw comments from them?
No,
and then you added it on. Okay.
Yeah, I added it on, yeah. But I did, I've been watching Wayne Dyer and Oprah, for 30 years. It's incredible. She had some pretty incredible things.
Oprah with the top show. So yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I wrote it in 4 months.
That took you 4 months, that's all?
Imagine people go say, John, you wrote it in 4 months?
And yeah. How long of a book are we talking? How long of a book is it? 200
pages.
How many?
200 pages.
200 pages in 4 months. Wow, really something.
Yeah, I just wrote it. I hired an editor.
Now, did you have to rewrite it at all, or edit it, or just publish it the way it was?
Oh no! Of course, I hired an editor, and I hired a book marketer, and things like that.
I see.
So it worked out good. And I've been to events, book events, things like that. So it worked out pretty good. Yeah.
It sounds like it's a great book, and it's something to be very proud of, and with top reviews, and you're accomplishing several things. You're enlightening people on the Holocaust. You don't want people ever forget about that, and you're making money at the same time. So it's a win-win situation, is what it is.
Exactly. That's what I thought about it. A lot of people said, John, that was a great idea. And every time I go up to strangers, I wrote a book. Oh, what's the name of the book? What's the Little Wind? What? And I told them about it. They go, oh, that's a great name of a book. What's a Little Wind? That's the thing. So then like a couple of years later, I told you I know a lot of the stand-up comedians. And then all of a sudden I got into the motivational things. I said, oh, let's start a podcast. And all of a sudden I thought about it. 2 weeks later, I'm in Rochester, New York, visiting my mom and my family. Okay. All of a sudden I'm having dinner. Who passed away? Robin Williams.
Oh, Robin Williams. What a great comic he was. A genius. A comic genius.
Genius. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So then I thought to myself, gee, so it made, inspirational interviews with comedians. So I came up with an idea called Comics Karma. COMICA. COMI.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, you had Comics Karma. It has to do with karma, living and learning, and what was it? There was one other thing.
Yeah, it says on my website, comicskarma.com.
Right.
living, learning, and doing what you love to do. And I
Right.
had some major comedians that were on there. They've been around in business for 30 years. Tom Dreesen, he was on Johnny Carson. I mean, I can just go Perry Kurtz. I mean, I can go on. Different people have been around for a long, long time. And I did 26 shows, and I loved it. I loved it.
Do you have any funny stories regarding these celebrities that you've met? Do you have any unusual stories that you can stand out that you can remember?
Trying to think. A lot of there's a lot of stories. I mean, these guys talk about how they almost passed away. They almost died in tragic accidents. They talk about their family, their kids, things like that. I made really good friends with a lot of the people. And they've been around for a long, long time. So if you go to Comics Karma, you can hear the different podcasts, like 1 hour shows. But it's inspirational. They talk about do what you love to do. And they followed it, and then excuse me, and then these people they're on David Letterman, Johnny Carson, Conan O'Brien. I mean, on and on. It's just amazing. And when you think about it, it's like, oh, really? That happened to you? That happened to you? You would have never known. You would have never known.
Wow. How many episodes in that podcast? You have different ones.
26.
26 altogether. Okay.
Yeah. And I took a break. Took a break from it. My mom passed away a few months after that. But I was thinking, like,
what was that?
My mom passed away, so I took a little break from it.
That was a while back. I'm sorry. I offer my condolences.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
I stopped doing it in 2017.
Oh, 2017?
Podcast.
I understand. I lost my mom in 2013, so I understand. Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah. So you can say, things happen. You just kind of lose interest, this kind of thing. And then I heard it's hard for people to listen to podcasts. So I was thinking about getting back into it again, marketing it, kind of get it out there. That's the thing. So you guys keep on, do what you love to do. But if you go to there, you'll hear some great stories, and you can see on the website, you can see them just do stand-up comedy, And I made friends with one of the top comedians in the country, Maz Jobrani. Yeah.
Who was that? That was
Maz Jobrani. Yeah, he's
Machiavelli?
Maz, M-A-Z, Jobrani.
Oh, Maz Giovanni. How did you make friends with with Maz Giovanni? How did you meet up?
Yeah, I made friends with everybody. Yeah, he's been around the block for a long time, and we became friends with top people like Tom Dreesen, Rick Overton. I mean, just on and on and on. Just pretty incredible, the things that happen.
It's amazing that you're able to make friends with those kind of people. I mean, it's hard enough to make friends with just regular people, but you were able to reach out somehow and make friends with these top successful comics.
Yeah, that's the incredible thing.
What do you think? What is your secret? What is it that you were able to do that maybe other people were perhaps not able to? Why do you feel that you're so successful? I mean, that's great. I congratulate you. I think that's wonderful. But I wonder any secrets for a while, how you've been able to do such a thing. Not just, it's networking. I know that. It's networking.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just stand up comedy with them. I get them, I know them, and then all of a sudden, I met him a few years before that, and I would just look him up and talk to him and say, hey, you want to do my podcast? Fraser Smith did it. He's been around for 40 years. Okay, he has his own radio show, and just a bunch of other people been around for 30, 40 years. So I just do it. So
you have a great rapport with people. You have a good attitude, a very positive, enthusiastic attitude. It shows. Your way you speak and your attitude in general about life. And
yeah.
Well, no, I mean it. I mean it, serious.
I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah. We did carry a lot together, John.
Well, yeah, I've enjoyed when I've seen you. I've enjoyed it. Like I say, I had no idea when you gave me your card. You were the same person that you when you gave me that card all along. I didn't put it together right away, but that's it. There's something to this. And then I figured, oh, this is a.
Talking about John,
And then we
John, John.
play managers and agents. I certainly understand all that. Oh yeah, because I went through all that. But no, that's to be admired because of what you've gone through. But you haven't let it get in your way. That's probably your advice then for people if they want to become successful, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. Time goes so fast now. The pandemic hit, and everything stopped. Stand-up comedy stopped. Acting stopped. Everything stopped. Then I got into. Here's some good news, John. And I want to share this with my people. I started getting into featured extra work. So on major TV shows and movies. I started about 3 years ago. 2 years ago, I joined an agency and they said, John, you want to be in a movie? Sure. Which one? Space Jam 2. Oh, LeBron James? Yeah. Don Cheadle? Yeah. So they booked me. I was in 2 weeks later. I find out. I go there to Warner Brothers. So I go to Warner Brothers. I show up. I thought it was going to be like me. I play a pirate. Can you imagine that, a pirate?
You played a pirate, huh?
Never played a pirate in my life.
Wow.
Yeah. So then all of a sudden, I worked there for 25 days. 25 days at Warner Brothers. Imagine it. So it's good money. And here's another story. People come up to me 5 to 6 years later, say, John, I just saw Jersey Boys. What, the movie with Clint Eastwood? Yeah. I said, you in that? Yeah, I'm in there. I said, I saw you. Right next to Christopher Walken. I was right next to Christopher Walken. Hi, how are you? How you doing, Chris?
Wow.
And then, yeah. And then I went to Clint Eastwood and said hi to him. I said, Clint, how you doing? Hi, how you doing, John? Fine. You booked me in that. All of a sudden, 6 months later, the movie comes out in June of about 2014. All of a sudden, a guy goes up to me and says, John. I said, you're in the movie. I said, yeah, I saw you. You saw me? I said, yeah, we saw you in the trailer. They put me in the trailer of the Jersey Boys, seen by millions and millions of people.
Wow. That's
I couldn't believe it.
That's amazing, John. It really is.
So can you imagine if I said no to that? Right. None of the casting directors get to know me. And
well, yeah, then they would have selected someone else, and you would have regretted that. But now this is something to really remember and be proud of. Have you ever had? Now you've had so much success at everything, acting and commercials and movies, you name it, stand-up comedy. Anything? Have you ever had any embarrassing situations? Any times, like let's say you're doing stand-up comedy, how you deal with hecklers, or have you had any embarrassing experiences at all in any of these performances that you can remember?
I'll be honest with you, not many. Not. I really don't to heckle too much. A few times here and there.
But were you ever maybe forgot something, or you were studied hard for a role and it meant a lot to you, and you weren't able, somehow you forgot, or you had problems with some lines, or anything like that ever happened?
No, not really. I mean, I might forget a few things here and there. But I do impressions. I do the faces, that kind of thing. And I actually got booked on a show at the Comedy Chateau, which is out in Lancashire, next Thursday. So,
really?
Yeah. So I'm gonna do that, and so one of the impressions that a lot of people never do. I've never seen anybody do this. Is remember John? Remember Ed O'Neill from Married with Children?
Oh yeah.
And Modern Family.
Yep. Can you do him?
Yeah.
Do it.
So I started doing him for the past 10 years, and I ended up my show I ended up closing the show like that. So I do De Niro, I do Bruce Springsteen. I met him. Yeah, I don't, man.
Bruce Springsteen.
Born in the USA. When I do, I don't, man. I met Bruce in 2008.
You did.
Bruce, how you doing? He goes, hi, man. Want a drink? Come on, man. All right.
How did you meet him? Where did you meet Bruce Springsteen?
I got invited backstage in Anaheim in
Oh.
2000, 2 weeks before my birthday. Can you imagine that?
That's amazing. That's incredible. Yeah.
We got so I hung out with him for like 3 hours. I've seen him in many times, But I love that. So that that's why I love karaoke. But then I started watching Ed O'Neill from Married with Children and Modern Family. Okay, and I've been watching it for what 30 years. So, do you know, John? You know that you always have the same face. Ed O'Neill has the same face. Remember that, guys? Remember this? You're, hey, how you doing? Hey, this, same face.
Wow.
Yeah. Married with Children. Hey. What's this Johnny show? Johnny Blaze.
I love it. That's great. I did John Wayne a long time. I remember. Listen, partner, you try to get off the horse, but you fell down. You might say I'm insane. I'm the one and only John Wayne.
That's a good one.
Then I did a few impressions of my time. I did like, Miss Purdy, what'd you get for you, Miss Purdy? Jennifer, don't you know what's going on? Can't you tell you love him? You're right, you clutch your butterfinger. What's wrong with you, Julius? Get the formula. Jerry Lewis, is that a professor? Right.
Lady, let's get going.
Right, and then remember this. Ink, ka-dink, 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 ink, ka-dink, 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 ink, ka-dink, 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 ink, ka-dink, 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 ka-doo. Goodbye, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. Jimmy Durante, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And I'll just show you a few I know, even though this is not. I am the president. You'll never have Tricky Dick to kick around any longer. Pat and I are going to the White House to pat it all down, take care of business. I don't care what you think, not now or never. I'm not a crook. I'm Dick Nixon. I'm the president.
You're like Clinton. Hi, how are you?
Here's another one that, let every nation know, whether it wishes well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of liberty. This much we pledge and more. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Exactly. That's a good.
See, I know a few myself, even though it's not something that I do all the time. I just thought I'd share a few with.
Yeah, no impression before that.
I thought you'd appreciate some, since since you're an expert at this stuff. I mean, there's so many. I remember Rich Little. I went to see him a long time ago. He was something. He was a pro. He did a great impression of Johnny Carson that time.
I used to see Johnny Carson a long time ago, like 30 years ago. Johnny Carson. Let's go. All right, here we go. All right, yeah. Oh, by the way, Johnny Carson laughs. Have you? Here's something. I met Jimmy Kimmel. He's a nice guy. I watched his show.
Where did you meet Jimmy at?
A friend of mine knew him. Wasn't a good friend, but I forgot his name. He committed suicide. He killed himself.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
2 years ago. I forgot his name, but last minute I showed up at the Laugh Act at the Comedy Store.
This is the one that killed himself? This is the one you're talking about that showed up at the Comedy Store?
Yeah. And Jimmy Kimmel showed up. A lot of other people showed up.
Jimmy Kimmel showed up?
Yeah, he was there with a bunch of other people.
The Comedy Okay. So
yeah.
How were you able to get his attention there?
So I walked up to him, and I made friends with what's his name? The famous Greek actor. You forgot his name. Anyways, I was there.
Guillermo?
Oh, sorry.
Was that Guillermo, his sidekick?
Zach Galifianakis, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Really? You met Zach Galifianakis?
He married me. It was like 2 years ago. He married me, yeah. But all of a sudden,
when I was on his show, yeah, he was one of the guests on the show I appeared on, Jimmy Kimmel, with Zach Galifianakis. Also, Ben Stein and Rachel Lee Cook. They were all on that episode.
Yeah. The great thing about Jimmy Kimmel is that the way he laughs, Jim knows where he lives. He goes,
Wow, that's true. He's a
really?
funny guy. Jimmy Kimmel is funny. When I was in Hollywood, I was on his show. I was fortunate to be on his Future Star Talent Showcase. He said the minute I arrived in Hollywood, he says, "I know you." And when it was over, he says, "It's a pleasure meeting a star of the future." It was an honor to have been
Oh, really?
selected Future Star Talent Showcase. That's on my website on johnnyblaze.com. You can see that sometime. Yeah, and that was in 2003. That was the last time on TV, but it was quite something. I met Jimmy. Did meet Jimmy before he actually made it in that business. He was working for KROQ. He was Jimmy the sports guy in the Kevin and Bean show.
That's right.
I
That's right. Yeah.
gave him his card. He said, "I'll promote you on the radio." I said, well, I called him on the phone. I couldn't get him. I figured he's forgotten. And all of a sudden, I got a call. He's expected one of his casting people. "We like your video." I said, "What video?" "I didn't send you a video." He said, "Well, we share Steve Harvey's office." I was sending out a video to Steve Harvey to get on there, which I did meet Steve Harvey, and that was quite an experience. But unfortunately, I was thinking, but the show went off the air. The ratings went down. It never continued. Steve Harvey's big time. But still, those were great experiences. So, yeah, if you want to see any of my performances, go to johnnyblaze.com.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, go, yeah.
Yeah,
Check out a few things.
I have a YouTube channel also, yeah. But anyway, I admire what you do. I really do. That's really something. You had a gig now recently. You used to complain, the manager said, "They don't do right by me." Okay. "They're only interested in making money." Okay, sure, they're interested in making, everybody is. But they're really obsessed with it. That's true. But somebody recently I think manager or agent reached out to you and asked you to be on a role. Tell me about that. Describe, what was that role and what was that?
I'm not sure what you were talking about because I could get it off a role. Which role was that?
There's something you mentioned it recently on Facebook that somebody asked you, "Do you want to play a certain role?"
Oh, well, yeah. Like I mentioned, I get featured roles all the time. Sometimes they offer me lines, sometimes they don't. But the past few months, you're not going to believe here's some good stories that I put this on Facebook. Past 6 months, I worked with Chris Brown, the rapper, Justin Bieber.
Really?
And all of a sudden, in November, I worked with Will Ferrell. I did a scene with Will Ferrell and a few other top people there. Paul Rudd. So I did scene after scene after scene after scene after scene. All of a sudden, from 6:00 at night till 2 in the morning, I was done. All of a sudden, 4 months later, I show up at a hospital and I'm walking behind a person. Who is it? Will Ferrell. I said, most actors don't talk to celebrities. They're scared. I don't know why, but you make a good point. So all of a sudden, 2 hours later, I see Will Ferrell there. I go, "Will, remember me? John." He swore to God. He looked at me, he goes, "Oh, hey, I was in the movie. I was in the TV show with you." He goes, "Oh, you were in the Chinese deli with Paul Rudd." "Yeah." I said, yeah. He remembered me.
You remembered? Wow.
He remembered 5 months later.
That's really something. That means
I got along with him. I got along with him,
There was something about you that he stood out and he didn't forget. That's really something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how do I stand out that he remembers me out of the people that he sees next to work? And then January, I went up to Christian Bale and said, "Christian, I love all your movies. I love Batman and all that kind of stuff." And he goes, "Thank you so much. You gave me a little bump. Good guy." A month ago, I did the Ricardos, being the Ricardos with Aaron Sorkin, the largest producer, writer, director in Hollywood, one of the largest. Okay, really nice guy. Okay, now when I say, "Aaron, I love all your work," this is all thanks to you. They gave me a little bump. All of a sudden, who's there? Nicole Kidman, Javier Bardem. I hung out with them. The next Monday, I work again. I play a 1940s photographer. Okay, and I'm taking photographs of Nicole Kidman, who plays Lucille Ball. So that was
really?
Yeah. And Javier Bardem played Ricky Ricardo. So between the takes, I, I, I went up to Nicole Kidman. I go, Nicole, you play great. Lucy like, oh, good. She said, Lucy, you look good. I did Ricky Ricardo for her. She starts laughing. I said, you look great. Oh, thank you. You know. And then all of a sudden, an hour later, before the end of the shoot, I go to Javier Bardem. Are you a good singer? I do karaoke. And he goes, oh, thank you.
Who was that? I didn't hear that last one.
Javier Bardem. I told him he's a great. I do karaoke. I went up to him, I sing, that kind of thing.
Who was this? I didn't hear.
Javier Bardem, the famous actor, plays Ricky Ricardo.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, I, me, I'm a very people person, pub person. So at the end of the movie, I walk up to Aaron Sorkin, and I go, Aaron. I said, Aaron, I love working with you. He goes, oh, thank you. I think it's a long day. I said, as long as you went to Syracuse University. Yeah, I did. He said, so do my brothers. Oh, where are you from? Rochester, New York. I went to Ithaca College. He says, oh, great. I said, glad working with you. I said, great. What a nice guy. Who goes up to the biggest writer, producer, director, and at the end of the day and says, I looked him up on YouTube, on IMDb, and I would go up to him and said, he went to Syracuse University, so did my two brothers. And he thought that was great.
Aaron Sorkin, right? Wow.
Aaron Sorkin.
That's
God.
really cool. So you have just a common goal. You guys have something in common. You're not as scared to tell it like it is. And if you have something in common, go right up to them. They're human beings like everyone else. Just that they're celebrities.
Exactly. That's my point. Okay, they might be rich and famous, but they are human beings.
That's correct.
They're people. Okay, and people could pass away. I just read on the internet, B.J. Thomas passed away today.
Thomas. Yeah, that's right. He's the one that did Raindrops Falling on My Head. He did several other ones too.
On my head, yeah, I love that. And Gavin
Raindrops on My Head.
Gavin McLeod died today. I can't believe.
Yeah, the guy
from Love Boat.
Gavin McLeod, the same day, he was 90. He's the one that played the captain stooping on Love Boat. Oh yeah.
Love the Love Boat.
He was also on Mary Tyler Moore. Yeah.
Mary Tyler Moore. Exactly.
That's the thing. So regardless of whether you're rich or you're not, you're still human. And if you're healthy, you are wealthy, because you can have millions of dollars, but if you do not have your health, it's not going to buy your health back if your health's down the drain. So that's important. So there's so much obsession with making money, I understand. But it needs to be an obsession also with keeping your health up, because it doesn't mean a thing if you don't have your health.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's kind of what my book and my podcast is about. That's the whole thing.
I agree with you. It's called karma. What goes around comes around. You send out positive vibes, and you send out positive, and positive comes right back. That's for sure. And if you can't please everybody, please yourself, like Ricky Nelson said in the garden party. You're not going to please everybody. The greatest people were great, but there's certain people that didn't care for them. But their downfall, unfortunately, some of the greatest entertainers was addictions to drugs. Like Elvis, he was only 42 when he died.
I know. I can't.
Michael Jackson. I wanted so bad to meet Elvis. He was my idol inspiration, but the concerts were sold out. But I had the honor and privilege of working with a producer who knew Elvis well. Him and his partner, I'm talking about Chris Beard, the co-producer of The Gong Show, him and Alan Bly wrote the comedy for the 68 comeback at NBC, where he was surrounded by his cronies, DJ Fontana and Scotty Moore. Scotty Moore was at the beginning when he first started. And he was there, and they were talking about the memories, how it started. And so Chris Beard, I never got a chance, unfortunately, to thank him, because I was able to get on, get recognized.
Yeah, my point
Every time I called up, it turned out as... What's your point? You're trying to...
Yeah, my point is that the more you give, John, the more you get back. The past, not to brag, I've been, and I get a little unemployment here to help me out, that kind of thing, like everyone else. Okay. So then, the past year and a half, I ate a can of ravioli. I was starving. I canned it for $1. I said, "Oh, gee, this filled me up." So the past year and a half, almost 2 years, every month, I buy 20 cans of Chef Boyardee ravioli stuffed, and I go to homeless people, and I give it to homeless people every month. And they said,
Every month?
God bless you, John. Thank you, sir. Thank you, buddy. That kind of thing.
So what you're saying is you've got a good heart, John. You're giving back to people who are disadvantaged, who don't have very much. And it's from your heart. You're trying your best to help them, which is a great quality. That's a very...
The more you give, John, the more you get back.
That's a nice virtue.
And that's what
you're saying. You see, some people...
Later, I joined SBCN too.
Everybody in a category. Some people, though, it goes to their heads and they get too arrogant like. Not everybody's that way. You are down to earth. You realize how wonderful. I mean, you can be here today and gone tomorrow. How important life is. You value life and you love people. And you realize you may have had trouble and struggle in your life, but you want to help other people. What do you get back? You're doing it from your heart. You're not doing it. When you give something, you don't give expecting something back. You do it just because you want to do it. If something comes back by accident, that's fine. And if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah, I do it to get things back. But when I did it, good things came back.
Yeah, you're helping out somebody.
A month later, I'm telling you, I did it in May of 2019. June, and my agent calls me up and says, "You want to be in Space Jam 2?" Okay. And all of a sudden, another month later, I did 25 days. It's like, and then a month later, I did Black Monday with Don Cheadle. I did Good Girls with Christina Hendricks. All because I gave. I didn't care.
Well, in other words,
it came
they're
back.
different things. I mean, you're doing it from your heart and you're doing a good deed for people. But I mean, I guess what you're saying is that kind of positive vibration is it's like, since you're helping other people, you're sending out that kind of message, a positive message. So you're helping others, which is nice, but you're not expecting anything back, but you're getting a good feeling by helping somebody. You're giving back to people who don't have.
It makes you feel good.
Yeah, I understand.
Tears your eyes. It does.
But what you think, you believe that has something to do with why you were able to get some of these other roles, because you're sending out such positive vibes. I mean, the roles are different than the actual gift. This is a different situation. But one is show it's sincere. It's sincere. It's from your heart. And that's what you do. You have a charisma about you. You have a smile. You have a personality. And you have talents. And I'm not just saying it. It's the truth. It's the truth.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
And I admire that. And I think that's something to be admired. And it's really wonderful and great. Now, I was going to think I was going to say something. That's what I was going to say about. So, how do you get into, now let me ask you, when you get into these roles, whatever you're doing, whether it be a commercial, whether it be acting, whether it be comedy, whatever you're doing, or you're a movie role, how do you get into the role to take on that role to give yourself the best chance of it working to be successful? How do you go about doing that?
Well, like I mentioned, you talk to celebrities and major people, and then the casting directors get to know you, and then they book you. So that's the thing. I got offered lines. Unfortunately, they didn't take it. Back in January of 2020, I hung out with Michelle Yeoh. Can you imagine that famous Asian actress, Michelle Yeoh? I played a manager of a Japanese place, and they offered me lines, and I said yeah, but you know how it is. Sometimes they change their mind, whatever it is,
Is there any outstanding role, anything outstanding of all the things you've done? You love them all, but is there anything outstanding that you remember, you'll never forget, that just such a wonderful, outstanding role of what you did? Is there anything that stands out totally in all that you've done?
What stands out is on YouTube, my YouTube channel. I get thousands and thousands and thousands of views.
That's great. It really
So
is.
that's the thing. I walk up to people and do impressions, first impression series. I did that off and on for 10 years. I did celebrity food face. Like Jay Leno eating food.
You've done some, haven't you done some interviews in Hollywood? You've done some Hollywood interviews, right?
Yeah,
Man,
I do many celebrities eating food called Celebrity Food Face. It's on YouTube. And guess what? Nobody does it. And nobody does the first impression series. You walk up to people and do impressions on the street. And I did one called Karaoke Earth, where I sing karaoke with strangers right and on Hollywood Boulevard. Yeah.
that's neat.
Like interesting things. And I love doing that. I love being on.
You have a natural flair for this, a natural feel. You're entertaining, you're funny, you're unique, and you're creative and resourceful. I can't say enough. I can compliment you enough. But I mean, that's how I feel. But the thing is, it's the truth. The truth is the truth. Very good. Did you ever meet Jay Leno? Did you say you met Jay Leno in the past?
Yeah, I met him many times. And
How'd you meet him?
here's a quick story for you. 1987, I won a radio contest in Rochester, New York, and I did my impressions for them, and they liked it. And all of a sudden, 2 days later, they call me, John, you won the contest. What did I win? A limousine with 4 people with my girlfriend to go to see Jay Leno's show.
Wow.
I show up at a famous college. Okay, I show up, and all of a sudden I go to Jay. I said, Jay, how you doing? It's Jon Pirincci. I'm a comedian. And he goes, oh yeah, that's good. You won the contest, huh? Yeah, I did. He said, all of a sudden I walk away. I say, you should pursue your comedy and keep on doing it. All of a sudden, like, an hour later, he gets on stage, and all of a sudden, I asked him if I could open for him,
Really?
and he goes, "Oh yeah." All of a sudden, he goes up to me. He goes on stage in front of 3,000 college students. Okay, so we're talking, 30 years ago.
Wow.
And he goes, "Oh, this guy John wants this great comedy, and I want to have him open for us." Here's fun, John. And I showed up. I did my Wheel of Fortune, which I just mentioned to you a little while ago, and they loved it. They loved it, and I went up to Jay, and he said, "Oh, you're a funny guy." Yes, it is. 5 years ago, I go to his comedy in Hermosa Beach. I go to, and I show him a picture it's on Facebook, the picture, and I gave it to the manager. He brought it back. Jay signed it. Says, hey, John, Jay wants to see you. So I show up, and I go, Jay, Murray. He goes, I remember you. He starts laughing with me. I go, can I take a picture? Of course I can, So take a picture. Who says you can take a picture and you remembered me from 30 years ago?
You know what, John? That's flattering. He didn't forget you. You were unforgettable. There's something about you, your charisma, your smile, and your personality, your talent, and he remembered you. That's really something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really something. Well, when I was on Jimmy Kimmel's show, I remember he said
that's pretty cool,
about me, these stars are so talented, they'll go past this whole process, go right to Jay Leno. But I didn't have the right contact to get on Leno. I would like to, but it didn't quite happen. But that's what Jimmy Kimmel said. Yeah.
I did a sketch on Jay Leno, like it was like 10 years ago, 8 years ago.
You remember the sketch that you did? That was 10 years ago. Do you remember?
I go up to a car and we try to stop people from taking the gas out, that kind of thing. So it's pretty good, So yeah. So I haven't seen it in quite a long time, but yeah, doing sketches, things like that. So it's pretty cool. I'm just saying, my whole point is that you get paid good money. I'm union. You get paid having fun, doing what you love to do. That's the point. Because all of a sudden,
that's wonderful.
All of a sudden, 6-7 years later, I got I was in a trailer with Jersey Boy. I got my book, got my podcast, I got things I've done the past, 2-3 years. So you remember things. It's like, oh, I remember that. Yeah, I did that. Thank God I did that. That's good. So that's the whole point.
John, you have a lot to be thankful for. You're healthy, you're talented, you're charismatic, you have a sense of humor, your personality about you, a way something that everybody, when they meet you, they don't forget you. They just don't. You're unforgettable. That you are.
That's really
God bless. If you had to ask you something, if you had to do anything over again, would you do anything differently in your career, in your life?
Probably not. I mean, I did as much as I can. I mean, I did pretty good. A lot of good things. Yes. Book, yes. Speaking, yes. Comedy, yes. Voiceover, I do voiceover, yes. I mean, there's nothing that I haven't done, over the years. The only issue is, can you make a living at it? It's hard.
It is very difficult.
Hard. I talked to major, I hate to say it, major people. I won't mention his name, but he's been on TV shows and he does Colonel Sanders. Yeah. Actually, you know what? He's a friend of mine, Jim Meskimen. Okay, Jim. And he's a voice. And he said,
did you say Jim Meskimen?
Meskimen.
Oh, Meskimen.
Yeah. He's the son of from the mother from Happy Days, Marion Ross.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So my whole point is, I don't try to be negative, but I'm saying it's hard to make a living, doing this. Do what you love to do, and if you make money, do it. If you don't, who cares? You're trying it.
Well, you give it your all, that's for sure. You don't want to have any regrets. You want to say, I want to be happy and do all those things, and I never did. You want to give me everything you've got. So when it's over, you can say, you did it your way, with no regrets. Right. We know there's no encores. We know it's final when it's over. So you live each day as if it was your last. That's my philosophy. Now, do you have? I remember also you were in the Hunker Down series too. That Nunzio has produced and directed. I think you did something in Vegas on that. Can you tell me about that?
Not Vegas. It was a casino. Yeah, it was a casino. I know Nunzio very well. We know Nunzio very well.
Yes.
He's a Florida Italian guy.
Right.
He went up to me a few months ago and said, John, I want you to be in my video. Let's go to a casino. I said, what do you want me to do? He goes, John, do De Niro. So I go, what, do it? De Niro playing the slots? He goes, yeah. So he did it. All of a sudden I go, all right, let's go, let's win. Oh yeah, that's good. Think I lost some money, yo. I'm gonna whack you. Just a little bit. Yo.
Wow. Are there any other ones? You can do so many voices. Any other ones that you can remember that you want to do more impressions instead of depressions? I don't know. There's so many people. From Don Rickles. Don Rickles was great in the past.
Oh, I've been doing this for a long time, and I know friends that met him. Ray Romano. As Ray Romano become a famous comedian, talks like this. Hey, John, you're a comedian too. Yay. Ray Romano. Ray Romano.
I met Adam Sandler that time in Mel's. I met him. Nice guy.
Yeah, I heard he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
Nice guy, and I've met a lot of good, a lot of people, over the years, So that's the whole thing. I mean, it's just doing what you love to do. That's the whole thing, And I love cartoons. I'm an old school guy. I'm older, so I love that. Well, I'm up. Fred Flintstone. He's like that. Jackson, fired.
Woody Woodpecker. I let you get a kick out of it.
Still watching Three Stooges.
The Three Stooges.
Yeah, I still watch the old shows. Oh, he's
yeah. Computers were great.
yeah, yeah.
How about Abbott and Costello? They were all funny.
Yeah.
I saw Frank Sutton now, who played Sergeant Carter. I saw him that time over there at Toys for Tots in Arleta. Yep. Oh yeah. He signed an autograph. Then there was an actor. My mom had a health food store. And he just walked in, this actor by the name of Rodelio Acosta, who played in Elvis's Flaming Star. He signed an autograph for me. I don't have it anymore, but I remember meeting the guy.
Wow.
Remember Flaming Star? What Elvis did.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Oh, by the way, quick, just to let your audience know. Past 10 years, I've been going to autograph shows. They have autograph shows where you have people you've never met in your life show up.
Oh, really? So you're talking about celebrity shows, right?
Celebrity autograph shows.
Oh, yeah. They used to have Beverly Garland. Didn't they have a Beverly Garland hotel? They used to have them.
You're not going to believe, a couple of years ago, I met John Travolta's sister. I go to John Travolta's sister. It's like, I love your brother, right? You know,
wow.
Laughing. I go, John Travolta, get out of here. That kind of stuff, you know. And then I had friends, and I met people from the Terminator. Yeah, get out now. You know.
Arnold. Oh, yeah.
I met Shatner. I couldn't believe I met Shatner.
You met William Shatner too? Oh.
William Shatner.
Wow.
Bill, I love you. I love you for 50 years. He goes, thank you. He still talks like Kirk, but it's gone. Yeah.
Captain Kirk. Yeah.
Kirk, yeah.
And not Star Wars, but the other one. There was another one he was in. It wasn't Star Wars.
Star Trek.
Star Trek. It was Star Trek. That's correct.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Right. William Shatner. Oh wow.
Yeah. And I met a lot of people from the character actors from the show. You know, I couldn't believe it. So I'm an old school guy. I met Adam West. You know.
Batman. Oh yeah, Batman.
Batman. Yeah. And the Riddler. You know, I met Frank Oceans. I met everybody. It's just amazing, you know. And I take pictures with them. They don't care, you know. I met Leave It to Beaver. I met Beaver and Wally.
Jerry Mathers played Beaver. There was the one that played Wally. Remember him?
Yep. Talked to him.
Tony Dow. Right.
Yeah, talked to everybody.
Of course, Barbara Billingsley was the mother, and the Hugh Beaumont was the father.
I met Bert, his wife. The one that the man that passed away. What's his name? He was a famous actor. He was on a lot of movies. I forgot his name. Anyways, Bert.
Oh, Bert Reynolds.
Bert, right. I'm sorry, Bert Reynolds.
Bert Reynolds. Oh yeah, he was something.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I met his wife.
Yeah.
So my whole point is that if you
a lot of people. Did you meet Alex Trebek from Jeopardy? Did you ever meet him?
I didn't.
Oh.
I almost did. But my whole point is that it sucks that it's shut down because of the pandemic thing, you know. But if you have a chance, it's going to come back, you know, by the end of the year, most likely.
You think things are all going to start opening up?
It's going to start opening up, yeah. So my whole point is that when it opens up, go. And I had so much fun. I'm an old school guy, and I met everybody from old movies, TV shows.
You have so many happy memories. You have so many, Jon Pirincci, you have so many happy memories. You've had a very interesting, very exciting life. John, you still there? Okay.
Yep, sorry.
John, what I want to ask you, do you have any present or future projects or dream projects coming up right now?
Yeah, I'm working on my voiceover. I'm gonna for a new agent, and I'm gonna start doing more videos on food, and that kind of thing. And I'm trying to get on Jimmy Fallon. I'm waiting to hear back from him, and a few other ones. So
Definitely trying to get back on.
just keep plugging away, and I hired marketing guys to get me videos on.
That's something to be. That's really something. That's something to be very proud of. You never give up. Like I say, quitters never win, and winners never quit. That's for sure. Anyway, that's phenomenal. That's really something. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you very, very much for being.
Yeah, it's an hour and 15 minutes. That's great. It's amazing.
Yeah, for being. Time has gone by so fast. It really has, John. And I'm so happy that you decided to be a guest on my show. It's been an honor and privilege to have you as a guest on my show, The Amazing Original Johnny Blaze Show.
Oh, I love it, John. I love doing, podcasts, and I love doing Zoom things, especially with someone I know you for years.
Yeah.
We have a lot.
One final question before we say goodbye here. How can people, if they want to know more about you, how can people find out more about you on all social media and tell me about the different links that you have?
Okay, I'm the only Jon Pirincci in the world. Seriously, JONPIRIN, like Nancy, CCI, Jon Pirincci.
Pirincci, okay.
Pirincci. Put that on YouTube, and you'll see a bunch of channels. You'll see one with subscribers. It's got 35, 40 channels, 40 videos on there. Thousands and thousands of views and likes and things like that. The other book is What's a Little Wind? what'salittlewind.com. Okay. The other one is podcast, Comics Karma, COMICSKARMA.com. 26 top shows of comedians, and then and you can see my impression, a celebrity fruit face, all kinds of things on there. So that's the best thing is if you look at those three things, and then Karaoke Earth, you can go on that. It's at my website, the Karaoke Earth, that kind of thing. So you can find all that, and I appreciate it, and I please ask people to subscribe to that and give me comments and likes and things like that. That'd be great. It makes me feel good. It's like, oh, yeah, it came from Johnny Blaze show. That was great. I love that.
Like I say, thank you so much. It's been a blast. I've enjoyed every minute, and the time has gone. Where's it gone? It's really gone faster, John.
Leave it. An hour and 20 minutes.
It's amazing. We've had a great time. I always insist that all my fans and friends have a blazing hot fun time. That's for sure. But anyway, I want to thank you again for being such a fabulous, amazing, incredible, blazing, and amazing guest, Jon Pirincci. For everybody to remember, actor, an impressionist, a writer, a little bit of everybody, a comedian.
Yeah.
You're a John of all trades and a master of everything. There's nothing you can't do if you put your mind to it. That's for sure, John. Okay.
Right.
So, until next time, John, I want to say to all my fans and friends, always keep a big smile on your face and a song in your heart. Happy trails and blaze out.
Follow your dreams. That's what you got to do. Do what you got to do.
Right. Exactly. Follow your dream.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to be a guest on an entertainment talk show, please send us an email at amazingoriginaljbshow@gmail.com. Thank you. All our guests will receive a complimentary DVD of their appearance on the show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the amazing original Johnny Blaze has just left the building. Good night, and God bless. Mwah.